It's a grown folks song right here. Hey. Hey, Queen. Let's talk about how marketing can support sales. I'm LizJSimpson, founder of the Big Money Movement, accompanied by Cheryl Parks, our lead coach and trainer here at the Big Money Movement. And girl, ain't this a topic? Listen.
Every day, always.
Oh my goodness. So Cheryl and I both have decades of sales experience.
Yes.
I'm not going to say who got more decades than others, but we both have decades of sales experience. And let me tell you, as a sales professional, there was such tension between marketing and sales. Like we were cat and dogs.
Right.
Because sales wants marketing to support us, and marketing doesn't necessarily value sales sometimes. So let's talk about how marketing can support sales. Do you want to talk about some of the reasons why there are frictions between marketing and sales?
So I think traditionally the functionality was different, right? It was marketing was doing all the front end work, sales was doing the back end work. And there was always kind of this, if I had more leads, I'd sell more. And they would say, if you're better at sales, we could get you more leads, right? So this was traditional. Ironically, what you see now is marketing and sales is just coming together, like left hand, right hand. And I'm just going to make a bold statement. If you're not working together in a marketing sales perspective, you likely are not going to move the needle because it's really, really critical that marketing has function with regard to getting to the goal, and then sales, either comes in or steps in to do what they're supposed to do.
Agreed. There was definitely these silos between the two in the past. And now, I believe about 5-6 years ago is when I really started seeing the trend of chief growth officers.
Yes.
And organizations saying that these two departments should be working together in tandem. So when we talk about how marketing can support sales, one, there's the obvious answer of creating a pipeline of qualified leads.
Yes.
So that's first and foremost.
Well, qualified leads.
Qualified. Do you want to talk about that? So what does that really look like?
So well-qualified leads are not just, we used to call it, it's not just any warm body, right? Literally, well-qualified leads are actually where they've actually checked the boxes. This is somebody that has, budget. This is somebody that has interest. This is someone that has decision-making authority. And some of those boxes previously needed to be checked, as opposed to the sales executive who's there to actually use their time and skill set to land new business. The sales executive ended up qualifying a lot of these leads that were warm bodies.
Right.
So there is this KPI, key performance indicator friction that comes into play, where marketing and sales are actually evaluated on criteria, right? And so at the end of the day, it's just really understanding the criteria that both are being evaluated on to be sure you get to the exact right crescendo.
I love it. I agree. That being said, let's kind of get into the details a little bit. So when we talk about marketing supporting sales, one, let's talk about attracting qualified leads. One, there needs to be synergy between the definition of what a qualified lead is, to Cheryl's point. So sales and marketing should be talking all of the time. And, whether this is a team or whether you're just a marketing consultant that works with a sales professional, or whether you're an entrepreneur that has, a marketing contractor on your team, you two need to be in tandem talking consistently about what you're seeing. Let me give a reference for this conversation. Marketing should talk about, here are the keywords or topics that I see that the market is referring to. Here are some of the benchmarks. So I have this many leads. They're coming from these sources. These are the efforts that we're doing that are attracting these leads. And then when we have this list, let's say we have a list of leads, sales or you as an entrepreneur should be able to say, of these 10 people, I closed 4 of them, right?
Yes.
These other 6 people, for whatever reason, they haven't moved down the pipeline. And then when I look at these 4 people who close, we also want to look at, 4 of them closed. This one client, though, I love working with them. Right. It's something about them that's a perfect win. Like there's major profitability in the work that we're doing together. They get it. They're bought in. They're a great partner. We closed these other 3 deals, but one wanted a refund. Another one was just a pain in the you-know-what client. Like conversion is not the only metric. And so you really need to talk about what you're seeing in the marketplace and not just what happens at close, but when you look back, are you seeing, what is the phrase that I'm looking push, what do you call that? Chargebacks.
Chargebacks.
Oh
yes.
my gosh. So we would call it chargebacks in
Yes.
sales. It's like, yeah, I closed the deal and I got commission on the deal, and then 30 days later they're charging back because something happened with that client. That's the last thing you want. And through that conversation, it's great intelligence for both parties, because marketing will hear, maybe how can I tweak our messaging so that we find more of the clients that you love working with that are profitable. And sales can hear, oh, this is what they're saying in marketing messaging. How do I make sure that I'm mirroring that language so that there's this calibrated effort?
Yes.
Because consistency builds trust. If a prospect is seeing one marketing message and you're saying something completely different than the sales process, it creates problems.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that you're 100% on point when you say have to be working together to get to that end in mind goal. The other thing is, and I'll push this more on the sales side, we traditionally are not all that great about giving feedback. So we can be better on the sales side about giving feedback. So whether you're wearing the hat of your marketing agency as an entrepreneur or the sales leader, you're really going to have to, or if you're sourcing to marketing, it's going to be critical to give on-the-ground feedback so that your marketing team can get better and grow and get better leads coming in, as Liz talked about, that ideal client.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to your point, I know that salespeople sometimes, or even entrepreneurs, right, they undervalue the conversations. So as far as a entrepreneur or sales professional, it's critical that you're taking notes during the sales process. So if you're having discovery conversations with potential buyers, what are they saying? How are they articulating their problem? How are they articulating how they found you? What brought them to you? Take that language to marketing, and marketing, use those words. Like, reference the voice of the customer, VOC. So our marketing should reflect and mirror the voice of the customer. Okay, so we know that marketing can support sales by building a pipeline of qualified leads. Are there other ways that you think marketing can best support sales?
Yeah, I think marketing can support sales literally by, again, listening to the sales team, but also approaching the sales team as a full, the team as one, right? And so coming into it, understanding that these are I'll call them feet on the streets, even though that's very old school, but these are the people that are in front of the clients. And so you can really cascade things to the sales team, into your client, and then back to marketing, and making it a really smooth running machine. I think for it to be smooth and easy to work together is really the key, and not having this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing that comes up in those conversations are sales assets. I call them sales assets. So if I'm a salesperson and I'm talking to marketing, if I'm an entrepreneur and I'm talking to a marketer and I'm saying, gosh, I'm having these conversations, but they keep asking me for references. Or they keep asking me for use cases or case studies for the work that I do. Marketing can say, oh, awesome. Let me create those assets for you. I can design a PDF that has 3 case studies for you to leverage in your sales conversations. Or better yet, maybe that's something that we can leverage on our LinkedIn profile or our website. Or I might say, you know what? I'm getting stuck in the sales process because people keep asking this about our company. Awesome. Those are FAQs that we can now leverage on other resources so that we are really qualifying, because qualifying also means educated, well-informed buyers as well.
Yes. So let's loop back to that, because that's a key part of it, right? So in other circumstances, we've talked about the fact that your buyer is 70% of the way through their decision-making by the time they engage with a sales leader. Entrepreneur, solopreneur, small business owner. They literally
insert you.
Yes, whoever you are out there, there's no distinction. When you go to invest in something, you look at reviews, you look and see, who's saying what about what. You go to the website, you might Google. There's so many different ways you do it. Corporate buyers are people. They're humans, and they're doing the same thing. So that's the key part of it, is listening, so that you can actually have marketing, upload things, I'll call it upload things, to social, to be sure that, as you mentioned, the FAQs are there and the case studies and all of the things. So I think that's a great point.
All right, are we ready to dig into social then?
Yeah,
let's talk about it.
Let's
Yay.
do that.
Well, my favorite topic is money, aka being the founder of the Big Money Movement. So I'm going to drop this stat for you. We know that executives are willing to pay up to 13 times more for the services of a highly visible expert. So it's not just about closing deals, it's about closing larger deals. And that positioning, that idea of, a highly visible expert, that highly visible part comes from marketing and positioning. So one of the best things that marketing can do to support the efforts of sales is to position sales professionals as trusted advisors, thought leaders, leverage places like social media and LinkedIn to publish insights, white papers, and really add value to the market. So we not only close deals, but we close big money deals. Speaking of which, let's make big money moves together. Go ahead and click on the next video where we're going to talk about the most important part of the sales process. You need to know this so that you can close those larger deals. See you there. Hurry up. Click, 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 click.